Hello again, Ija Martin's couples therapist. So before we start, remember to subscribe to the channel and unmute the little bell so you can see any updates and new videos coming to you. Today, I will be talking about accommodation and enabling. So what is enabling and what is accommodation and what are the differences? So in the context of today's conversation, I'm talking about when the partner with ADHD shows certain deficiency in their performance at home, and the partner who's a neurotypical partner that is more competent, what we call the over-functioning partner, that help the other partner to get things done, but in a way that may not really benefit both people. So let's first talk about enabling. Enabling tend to be number one, unconscious, that you are not even aware that you're doing that. And there's a lot of denial sometimes in the person who enable other people. Number two is not mutual, it's not agreed, tend to be one-sided. The person who is more functioning, we call the over-functioning person, that enable the under-functioning person. And number three, it tends not to be negotiated. Well, because you're not even aware of it. It's not in your consciousness, so you cannot negotiate. Well, let me give you an example. Say a 4-year-old child that doesn't have the fine motor skill to know how to tie shoelaces by themselves. And you decide to come in and help them. Let me tie your shoelaces, let's just go. Right? Parents do that in the morning. It's not a problem, but in some way it's enabling. Why? You just deprive the child an opportunity to practice and to develop, enhance their fine motor skills in that moment. You may say, well, but I don't have time in the morning, E. Do you understand? Yes, I do. So in that moment in the morning, you're in a hurry. You want to get to school, get to work on time, right? So in that moment, you chose efficiency over developing skills, which is a good choice. You don't want to be late. But it is enabling in certain ways that you skipped a step, so your child got a certain benefit without making too much effort. You can make it up by letting the child to practice how to tie shoelaces after school when you have ample time. So that would solve the problem. But in essence, in that moment, when you choose efficiency over skill building, you are enabling your child in certain ways. So you don't want to do too much of that. So how do we tie that into the ADHD partner thing? Very similarly, thinking about your partner with ADHD. A lot of people with ADHD really loathe tasks that's boring, slow-paced, repetitive, doesn't show immediate gratification, right? Like doing dishes. It is very repetitive and boring. And if you don't pair that with some other activity like watching a YouTube video or listen to music, it's really not very appealing for a lot of people's ADHD brain. So they may find a lot of excuses to put it off by, scrolling down their phone, social media a little bit, maybe check on the email, or doing other tasks like they prefer to do. And hopefully this the dishwashing thing will go away, or maybe they wait until the last minute they can't anymore, then they will do it. And you may decide after an hour, you don't want to deal with the dishes in the sink and you really want to get it done. You don't want to wait until the moment you're in bed and they start doing dishes, making all this noise, right? It's very disturbing for you. So you went on, you go ahead and did it. You finished it. And then, but you have a lot of feelings when you did it for them. In that moment, you are enabling them. You chose efficiency over skill building. People with ADHD, their task a lot of time in therapy and coaching is to build a tolerance for frustration and the discomfort, and to lean in the discomfort of doing things they do not want to do and they do not enjoy doing, which is what we call maturity and being adult. So that part of the brain is very young, is not developed enough in the prefrontal cortex for them to conquer those discomfort very easily. And they need the building of those areas. So what is accommodation then? What's the difference? You may hear that term a lot when you're applying for college and university or a job even. So accommodation is designed for people with certain challenges. For example, people with ADHD or dyslexia, to have an equal footing with other students in learning. Accommodations could be offered in longer examination time, a separate room, being quiet with headphone to do exam when there's less distraction. Also could be longer period of time to do tasks and homework. Also could be to cut out certain homework and assignment that's repetitive and that's not necessary to really test the student's skills in learning. So the goal is to help people with ADHD, especially in college, and to feel they are capable so they don't give up easily, so they will continue to learn and get achievement and graduate from college. Same for work. You may get a certain accommodation from your HR, and that tend to be negotiated. It's not a one-sided, and they are initiated by people with ADHD, so you can request for those accommodations. It is conscious, it is mutual, it is requested by the under-functioning people. So in that way, people with ADHD or other challenges in learning and at work can feel competent and can be motivated to be successful. What are the reasons for people with to do enabling then at home? As one of them is what we talk about efficiency. The partner who's over-functioning may feel they're more competent in doing certain things. Say tax, which is very detail-oriented, and most of my clients with ADHD just hate it and really put it off. Planning for vacations, where there's a lot of details need to be nailed down, and planning ahead, which is also hard for people with ADHD. So their partner may feel I'm more competent, I'm more efficient in doing that, I do it faster, right? So I will do it for you because we need to get our life together and going. I can't wait for you to waste your time and do that, spend all this time and don't do a good job. So more for efficiency purpose. What's the negative impact when you enable? Yes, you got efficiency. That was a success. But what is the disadvantage of doing that? You probably know that already. Number one, you deprive them a valuable opportunity to build their skills. Number two, you could be very much reinforce their avoidance. Say, if your partner is really smart, they realize, if I don't do dishes for an hour or so, my partner is very anxious, they hate it, they will do it for me. So all I need to do is to wait it out. The same for a child. My parent will do it for me because they don't want me to go out with my shoelaces all like loosened and I could trip. They worry about me, so they will do it for me if I don't do it well enough, fast enough, right? It can also create a lot of tension in your relationship. More so in the partnership because you're supposed to be equal partners if you choose to be. And when one person is enabled, the over-functioning, the other person is under-functioning, and enable, that is not equal relationship anymore. There's a caregiver role and the parent-child dynamic there, so which can create a lot of tension in your relationship and really escalate sometimes when the partner who is over-functioning is burnt out. So how can we even that out maybe mutually benefit and mutually accommodate to each other, because everybody has strengths and weaknesses. How can you optimize your resources in your relationship so your life can move forward smoothly towards your goal, right? Like the ideal 1+1 more than 2. I will be talking about that in our next video about mutual accommodation and how to negotiate for that. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you like the videos, and unmute the little bell so you can see automatically when I release a video, it gets to you right away. Until next time, bye bye.